Before you really go deep, really brainstorm and think about what makes you unique. You might not make as much as others have, and it's okay if you only sell your NFT for $5. That's fine. It's a matter of kind of practicing and doing it, and once you've kind of got an NFT or two sold under your belt, you can start to kind of grow and increase your prices, because suddenly you can start to build kind of your brand and your identity. Welcome back to Kevin Savage TV. I just want to say it's been a while and I appreciate your patience. A lot of things have happened. I've got a new haircut. I hope you like it. I've got a new track coming out with an artist named Norel. I will keep you guys in the know as that project becomes more and more finalized. I've also got a surprise to share with you at the end of the video, so make sure to stay to the end of the video. And we've had an explosion of growth on this channel, due largely in part from my last video on NFTs. And I really want to welcome everyone here, and I want to say thank you for being a subscriber and supporting this channel. Make sure to check some of my other videos out. Connect with me on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I do my best to answer every comment that gets left at some point. So again, thank you and welcome to the channel. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment section below. Make sure to give these videos a like and share the videos, so that way if you know of anyone else who's interested in NFTs or music production, they can learn a little bit from this channel. Finally, I wanted to make this video as a way to address a lot of the comments that I tend to get. Hopefully this video, if you've got some questions after watching the last video, and if you haven't watched the last video, I do recommend you pausing this or finishing up this video and then going back and watching the last video, and then hopefully this video will answer some of those questions. If not, the comment section below, leave your question. I'll do my best to answer it. So let's hop into the PowerPoint and check it out. All right, so this video, as you can see from the screen, it says NFTs for music artists, and it's going to be about kind of getting started in this space. So first of all, disclaimer, I'm just a guy online, and everything discussed in this video is for fun. So please, if you're, this is all just my opinion. Technically, this is all just entertainment. So if you decide to make any decisions that will alter your financial situation, be sure to consult someone who has a background in finance, and as well as maybe a lawyer. Do not just do what I say here and think that these things are going to make you super rich. So just do your own research, before making any significant investment or any significant life-changing decisions. It's always the best bet. Just do your research, talk to some people who have, who are true authorities in finance and stuff like that. So, but I hope you enjoy this video. All right, so the topics that we are going to be covering today include, we're going to talk a little more about the concept of NFTs and kind of what I'm thinking and the way that they can be used for artists and producers and stuff like that. We're going to cover a couple of case studies, including illmind, Blau, and element blocks. We'll discuss kind of the idea of brainstorming and kind of brainstorm a little bit together. I'm going to actually walk you through how to set up your wallet and using MetaMask, which is my preferred wallet, as well as choosing your platform, minting your NFT, some marketing, and some resource conversation. So, what are NFTs? NFTs is a non-fungible token. It's a digital asset that can be sold or traded on specialty markets using cryptocurrency. Typically Ethereum, but it could be other ones as well. NFTs are a powerful tool for artists to really leverage their brand and content to make extra money in more non-traditional ways compared to your typical streams and stuff like that. Although this technology could theoretically be used to even support traditional ways that artists make their living. Another disclaimer, while NFTs have the ability to appreciate, they also have the ability to depreciate. So just be careful and be aware of that, as the crypto goes down. If it goes down or it plummets, you run the risk of your content having no value. So just be aware of that. I don't want to scare you away. Just something to keep in mind. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. All right, so let's do a little preface to some of these case studies. I believe that case studies are an important way to, number one, provide a proof of concept, as well as to provide some inspiration. I like to look at kind of what's being done and thinking about how, I can take that information and kind of make it my own. So I think case studies are important. And so that's part of the reason why doing your research is important. Now, for obvious reasons, and this is something that comes up quite often, you will need to find your point of difference, kind of your niche within this space. And by studying kind of how these folks do NFTs, you can kind of see how they found their own niches based off of their background or specialty. I have people who come to me and just have an idea, but it's not really a unique idea. It's kind of doesn't really have any foundation, like strong foundation. And sometimes I've had to decline folks and say, listen, keep thinking about what makes your idea different and let's chat some more. But if you don't have an idea that kind of sets you apart, you're probably going to get lost. Even though this market is new, it is very rapidly becoming more saturated. So you just want to make sure that you've got a project, an idea that sets you apart. Now, both of these, or I guess a few of these NFT case studies are longtime players in the music space, and they have a very established brand and a following and a community. So, these case studies, keep in mind, they're not the norm. These are just case studies, right? These are just inspiration and ideas. So don't expect the same level of success that these artists have made. And don't expect to make the same amount off your NFTs. You keep that in mind as you're figuring out prices and price points, setting things up in a way that kind of attracts a consumer. So the first one I want to talk about is illmind. We got a picture here of his Beat Traders NFT. This is his second project after his larger sample pack NFT. Now keep in mind, illmind is a Grammy Award-winning sound designer and producer, and all of his NFTs are one-of-one sample packs. If you go to Bid Pack by illmind on Mintable, you'll actually see his store and you'll see his NFTs. Now, keep in mind that he is an established brand, right? And that is a huge factor when it comes to the fact that he sold, I think his first NFT sold for like $6,000, and that's because he is known. He's established on Twitter. He's established on Instagram. He's established on Twitch. I'm sure he's got YouTube content. He's got his mailing list. He's got all of these things there to promote his brand. And that's why he's able to sell his NFTs for larger amounts. Not everyone is going to be able to do the same thing. Now, I think that what he's doing is powerful because there's intrinsic value to his NFTs, right? His NFTs are unique, rare samples that you could use in your music, and there's definite value in that. So they have value outside of just being a piece of art, like a photograph or something to that extent. So keep that in mind while you're trying to figure out what your NFT, what your niche is. All right. And moving on to the next case study is Blau, or 3LAU, which is how it's normally spelled, but it's pronounced Blau. He did his Ultraviolet collection, as you can see in this piece of art, that it went for, he made a good amount of money on it. Now, keep in mind, what he did was first of all, he's an artist and producer. He's got an established brand. He's been making music for a while. He's been big in the crypto space. Now, what he did is another way of approaching it, right? We got illmind, who, you've got digital assets that he is trading that can be used intrinsically. Blau, on the other hand, exchanged essentially the owner of his NFT for real world products. One of them being access to backstage of his show, being able to provide him an idea for like a future release. And from my understanding, he created kind of this tiered release on his for some of his NFTs, and so they kind of sold at different price points. Now, again, he was able to sell it at a really good price and make some good money off of his NFTs. Don't expect the same experience on yours, but it's something to think about. You've got illmind, who's a sound designer selling his product that normally would go on like Splice, and you got Blau, who is a artist kind of leveraging his art and his access into his NFT and providing a unique experience that way. So something to think about, right? And so another great example. Finally, this is a non-music related NFT concept, but I hope that this kind of shows you how nobodies essentially can also leverage the NFT space to sell a product. And now in this case, it's not music, it's art. And it's very simple art, right? Like, as you can see, it's almost like a Microsoft Paint image. But what this is it's called element blocks. And I remember when the guy initially released element blocks, he wrote a little white paper, had a little website discussing his concept, which was, hey, there's only so many elements in the universe. And I am going to mint an NFT for each element, and it's going to be the atomic number and the atomic symbol. And he went ahead and listed it, and slowly listed his, I think he does mostly rareable, but it's only one of one. And so I've seen those NFTs initially sell for smaller amounts, fractions of a coin of Ethereum. But some of these, in fact, this one I think is right now being listed for like 3 ETH or 4 ETH or something like that, like $6,000. So, you could see how a very simple concept, but unique concept, was able to be leveraged into a pretty valuable concept. So just another example for you to keep in mind as you're thinking about how you can find your own space in the NFT world. So brainstorming, I think this is so important and so critical that you really think about your project before diving right in. You could dive right in just to test it out, mint an NFT to kind of figure out which platform you like the best. I've done that, so there's nothing wrong with that. But before you really go deep, really brainstorm and think about what makes you unique and what makes your NFT special, right? You need to know that, you might not make as much as others have. And it's okay if you only sell your NFT for $5, right? That's fine. It's a matter of kind of practicing and doing it. And once you've kind of got an NFT or two sold under your belt, you can start to kind of grow and increase your prices, because suddenly you can start to build kind of your brand and your identity. As someone in the music space, you should really think about what you can offer, right? Looking back at those case studies like illmind and Blau, how does your NFT make sense for your brand, right? And that's going to be really critical as you enter this process. Minting a token, at least for illmind, he was able to mint a token that had a real world or had, it was very ultra rare and scarce. And for people who are producers, that's really important, because, you want to make sure that your NFT is unique, right? Or not your NFT, your track is unique. For Blau, he was able to leverage with minting token that can be redeemed in the real world. And if you're not a really established brand, maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense to invite to the back of the shows if you're not doing shows, right? But if you're someone who's doing shows and you've got a following, that would be a powerful thing that you can associate with your NFTs. But you really need to think about what makes you special. Maybe it's the kind of sound you have. Maybe it's the relationships or assets you hold. Spending some really real time thinking about that, what that point of difference is, could really be what makes you be able to successfully sell an NFT or not. Now, maybe you just have an interesting concept. If you could find an interesting concept, crypto kitties, crypto punks, element blocks, all of those things, you can also potentially make decent money, but it needs to be unique. And also thinking in collections rather than singles is important, because think about it. You are trying to play into the psychology of a collector, right? Maybe you got someone who just buys one NFT, but you kind of want to play into that psychology. If you can play into the psychology of a collector, maybe you sell a couple of cheap NFTs, and then you associate with your collection a couple of expensive NFTs, and that's how you're able to leverage someone to buy the more expensive NFTs. So something just to keep in mind as you think about NFTs and how you fit into the NFT space. So I love MetaMask, and so I'm going to show you how to set up your MetaMask. Now there are other wallets out there, but I find this to be the most efficient one for me. Now keep in mind it only runs on the Chrome browser, so you do have to have Chrome on your computer. But there is an iOS app and there is an Android app, and I think they're both clean and easy to use. Just please remember your seed phrase. And I'm going to go ahead and show you all about that. So first of all, you want to go to metamask.io. We want to go ahead and click on download now. Go to Chrome or install MetaMask for Chrome. Add it to your browser. Go ahead and add the extension. Once it is connected, hit get started. You're going to choose create a wallet. You're going to hit I agree. You're going to go ahead and create your password. Confirm your password. Go ahead and agree to the terms of use. Hit create. And then you're going to make sure to remember this seed phrase. Please remember this seed phrase. Back it up, memorize it, write it down, take a screenshot, do all of the above. It is so critical to remember this seed phrase, because if you forget it, you will be, and you are locked out of your account, you will not be able to get back in. There is a way to access the seed phrase from within MetaMask, but if you don't have access to MetaMask, you will not be able to recover the seed phrase. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and just paste it in a side browser just for now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and create a new tab. This is just so that way, because I don't remember what the seed phrase is. But I'm going to go ahead and choose my seed phrase. Once I have plugged in my seed phrase, I'm going to hit all done. And then I'm going to close it down. And keep in mind there's a way to token swap if you want. There's other cool information with MetaMask. So that's part of the reason why I really love this platform. And make sure to pin it up in your extensions just for easy access. That way you can go ahead and you can see your account, you can copy your account, you can access account details. This is where if you go into settings, you can actually see your seed phrase if you wrote it down wrong or whatnot. But you do need to make sure the password is correct, and you will still be able to have to get into it. So make sure to copy this, put it somewhere. Just don't find yourself in this situation. You can copy to clipboard in case you want to share your wallet. And then, of course, you can add Ethereum. So that is MetaMask, and it's my favorite platform. So moving on from setting up your wallet, next thing would be really to choose your platform. Now, keep in mind, what wallet you use will depend on what platform you use. If you're using a non-Ethereum platform, you're not going to use MetaMask. You might use something else. But for our case, we're going to use Ethereum, and so MetaMask is my favorite for that. We're also going to use Mintable for our platform. Now, there's a number of NFT platforms out there. Do your research. You watched my last video, I kind of mentioned a few of them, but I find that Mintable is best for this gasless option, so you can at least dip your toes in. I don't think gasless is perfect for everyone because you can theoretically get your stuff lost. But it is useful for those who kind of want to test the waters out and then maybe create their store. Keep in mind, creating a store does cost money, and it can be rather expensive. Now there are also some very large names pumping their platform, which is inevitably going to get them put into the zeitgeist. So I think that's part of the reason why I like Mintable is you got people like Mark Cuban who are stepping in and really kind of giving their thumbs up and their stamp of approval on the app. And that's inevitably going to send traffic there, which means inevitably you could get eyes on your NFTs. Now, it's a far from perfect platform. It's still buggy and glitchy, and there are some issues there. But I do find it the cheapest and just the best open platform, best open market for one to use, because there are platforms that are probably better but are not open to anyone. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to mint, and we're going to actually mint an NFT on Mintable, so I can kind of walk you through kind of what it will look like. So I'm going to use the gasless option. As you'll see, there are other ways. You can create a store, you can mint without gasless, but that does cost money. So I think that this is the best for getting started. So let's go ahead and hop into Mintable, and I'll show you what that process looks like. This is our website. We are going to create the NFT now. First of all, we're going to go to mintable.app. We are going to go ahead and make sure that we are signed in to our wallet. We're going to go ahead and hit mint an item, go create a new item. It's going to automatically do gasless. We're going to go ahead and choose the type. We're going to choose music for this case. We're going to write, for this one, Kevin Savage - golden views. And then for the subtitle, we are going to go ahead and choose The Way of the Savage, which is the name of this album. And click to add your private file. I'm going to go ahead and choose the video. It's a little video of The Way of Golden Views that I made a while back. This is a very old project. And then it's going to go ahead and upload that .mp4. So this will be a private file within it. And then we are going to go ahead and upload a photo. First, I want to go ahead and share with you what the song sounds like. Then we're going to also make sure to list, social media links and stuff like that. Got the name of the track, Golden Views, and it was off the Way of the Savage album. Right. So then we're going to add a couple of bullets and kind of point people to where they can follow. Make sure I would honestly create like a little, like a note that has all the links and has, all of the information. So this is a much quicker than having to go copy, having to go and find each link or remember it, So just something to keep in mind for workflow. So, and the cool thing about Mintable is you can actually attach hyperlinks. So you can, what I like to do is, maybe list all of the different handles and then actually link directly to those locations. Anything that you're really active on, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, could be TikTok, could be Telegram, could be Discord, put whatever you want in there. Or you can honestly create a link tree and just link directly to the link tree if you don't want to load up here. You've got other stuff that you want to share with potential buyers. You could also put in here a link to the track so people can kind of get a little demo of it. And then I'm setting a price of $200 in USD, and that's going to be whatever Ethereum is. And this will fluctuate. And then make sure you sign the NFT, and boom, the NFT is minted. And then you can click view your item to see it on your storefront. You are all set. You have minted your first NFT. So I hope that that was really educational on the process of how to mint an NFT. And then finally, we have marketing, which is super important. Just because you have the NFT, just because you've released a song on Spotify, right? Just because you've put a product out there, you have a store somewhere, doesn't mean you can't market. You should still market your product. Otherwise, you are going to lose money, or you're not going to find success. So, I think it's important to really kind of think through your marketing in this process. Establishing relationship with players in the NFT space via Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Discord, etc. Super important. Reaching out to crypto news sites. They're all over Twitter. Probably you could just shoot them a DM, an email, something like that. Hey, this is what I'm working on, yada, yada, yada. Sharing, figuring out creative ways of sharing your NFTs, if you've got a very unique idea for an NFT, you may even get some press that you don't even pay for, you don't even reach out for. So, getting people aware of what you're releasing and sharing it, Reddit, etc., super important in the process of marketing your NFTs. Also reaching out to doing interviews on podcasts or with blogs or stuff like that could be really useful for sharing your projects. I like to use Linktree, and if I'm doing Gasless, I will attach the link to all my NFTs in the Linktree, because that makes it easier for people to find, and I can point them to a link on my Instagram, or I can just send them a link in like a DM so they can see it. Also Clubhouse. I don't know if you're on Clubhouse, but if you're on Clubhouse, that's also a really great platform. Honestly, all of the social media platforms, people are talking about NFTs, some more than others. Some are a little bit harder to find. Telegram can be a little harder to find those communities. But if you're on Reddit, you can a lot of times find the Discord associated with a particular Reddit, subreddit, or Discord, or Telegram, etc. So, and as I discussed in the marketing, there are plenty of resources also for just the process, as well as kind of marketing your stuff and figuring out how to market your stuff and whatnot. So just a list of ones that are pretty obvious: YouTube, Discord, Clubhouse, Twitter, Reddit, Telegram. Those are all big resources for the NFT space. So make sure to check those out as you are learning more about this space and are growing your portfolio and whatnot. So I hope that was I hope that information was useful. Now, as I promised, a little surprise for the end of the video. Thank you for staying through to the end. I want to introduce you to someone. Come here. This right here is Sir Chili Von Pepper. He is my partner and I's newest addition to the family. He is an adorable little corgi who is very tired right now. All right, he's kind of fallen asleep. He is both adorable and a terror at time. You can follow him and check out all the photos that we upload to his personal Instagram at Sir Chili Von Pepper. Right, Chili? And see all the adorable photos there. So say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Wave. Bye. All right, we'll see you later.